The debate over concussions in football is reaching critical mass this week, with the family of Frank Gifford announcing the NFL legend suffered from CTE, a type of degenerative brain disease linked to head trauma. Just this past Sunday, you may know the NFL admitted its new concussion protocols have failed, allowing Rams quarterback Case Keenum to keep playing after he slammed his head into the field. All this happening in the run-up to the Christmas Day release of the movie Concussion, starring Will Smith, as the real-life forensic pathologist who reported the first case of CTE linked to pro football. A group of doctors now saying enough is enough, at least when it comes to young people. An upcoming editorial in the American Journal of Bioethics reading, quote, "Health professionals should call for ending public school tackle football programs. We disagree with the perspective and the argument of a recent report by the American Academy of Pediatrics that supports the current organization of reforms. Research about the consequences of school football for cognitive function is foreboding and evolving in a discouraging way. The medical community could help students, schools, and society leave a sport on which the sun is setting," end quote. Wow, that indicts all of football, Doctor.
And I agree with that statement. I think either you change the rules of football as it is and make it less traumatic, or eliminate it. You know, when you have kids, let's say grammar school, playing contact football, and then they get into high school, then they get into college, and because they're looking for a career, let's say, because their parents think they're going to be a superstar, you are damaging that kid's brain right from the very beginning.
And there's no way around that. Like, is somebody more special than somebody else?
No, I mean, this is repetitive hitting in the head. This is all that it is. You know, if you put a kid in boxing at the age of 6 and you punch him in the face and punch him in the head and punch him in the head, by the time they get to college, they have a lot of damage in their brain. So now you have the argument. Everybody wants to live to the age of 100. Right? Because nobody wants to die anymore. Everybody wants to live to the age of 100. Okay, you can live to an age of 100, but at least protect vital organs, because you're going to need your brain when you're in your 70s, your 80s, and your 90s. And this sport, right now, as it is played, doesn't allow you to do that.
So Katherine, part of the argument, not for the young people, but for professional football, is these guys can make their own decisions.
Exactly. They definitely can. I think it's pretty obvious that getting repeatedly hit in the head is going to be bad for your head. I don't think you need a study to show you that. That's obvious. It's also obvious that football is not going anywhere. People love football. I don't like it. And now everyone hates me just for even saying that, which is how much I love football. Exactly.
Be careful.
Exactly.
When you tell people that you don't like something, they don't take it very well.
I've realized that. I've realized that. Like, maybe I don't like Star Wars either.
Oh, no. Here we go. I'm moving off the couch.
And I don't like Star Wars. I just made so many enemies. So it's not, to even suggest that it would be going anywhere, that's never, ever, ever going to happen.
So you think the market will drive this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather watch Forensic Files myself. But, you know,
so you have a little boy.
Yep.
And I've seen your little one. He's kind of rough and tumble already.
My little guy,
but in all seriousness, as you look forward as a mom, I mean, what's your thought about this?
I would not like him to play football. I guess he'll make his own decision one day. Luckily, he lives in New York, where I don't think there's any good football. There may be, but that's
don't say that.
We're not a football city, from what I can tell, in schools here. But I'd rather he not. I mean, I take what you say very seriously. I don't want him getting hit over the head. It's bad enough he bops himself on the head every day just on his own. I don't want him to now have 20 guys tackling him while he's doing it.
You come from a place where football, I mean, the Eagles are... They're part of the state of Pennsylvania. I mean,
I know better than to criticize the Eagles.
So my question is, if the game changes the way that the doctor says it needs to for young people, that's one thing. But if it changes for the NFL, I mean, you lived in a football area. I mean, they love their football down in Philly.
Pennsylvanians, we love our football. And I have to disagree with you just on one thing, though, Dr. Manny, but I want to ask your advice on this. I mean, the NFL has made certain protocols, right, not to lead with your head, and they've tried to amend things. We know now that that hasn't worked. I do believe that there's a lot of risky behavior out there. I know friends who love to skydive. Pretty risky, but there's things that people do that you're not going to stop them from doing. And a lot of these players, I think it was Terry Bradshaw Harris we had join us on the Outnumbered couch, and he said, you know, I knew what I was getting into. A lot of these players say, I knew it, I wanted the glory, and I'm willing to live with it. What do you say to those players, though, Doc?
There's technology. If you bring technology to the picture, where trainers can look at technology and they can look at the hitting motion or whatever, and they can determine, no, take him out, move, make the teams bigger. Change the rules of the game. Change the whole thing. That's what needs to happen.
All right, we'll move on. We ask little kids all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, a lot of times boys and girls give very different answers, but a new study has some pretty surprising ideas about why that is. Spoiler alert, it's about the cash.